Hey, what's going on everybody on YouTube? How's everybody doing? I'm doing just fine, doing awesome actually. So today, welcome back to another build challenge. I know it's been a little bit since the last one, or any video on the channel as of late, but here we are nevertheless. I hope to keep these videos going. I hope to keep everything on schedule from here on out. It is a bit difficult with work and everything. I'll be repeating myself ever since I stopped working. But work takes up my whole schedule of everything. So unfortunately, this does have to be saved for last, the YouTube channel and everything. But I hope to get videos out every so often and everything, and as much as I can, basically. But nevertheless, here we are with another build challenge. This one's going to be pretty interesting because I did try doing this before the video, and it is actually really fun to think about. With these build challenges, it allows you to go into this creative mindset of limiting yourself instead of expanding. So it allows you to think of things within a certain amount of area, or even a certain amount of blocks, or a certain material that you're going to be using for these certain things. That's why these build challenges are so epic, is because the creativity behind them is awesome. So today, we're going to be building a 16 by 16 wool house. And this is going to be pretty interesting. Like last time, we just had to use wood to build a wooden castle, as you can see here. Now, I think this came out pretty good for what it was, and looks pretty nice. And you guys seem to like it as well. A lot of you said it looked like a tower, more of, not like a castle like over here. But what can you do inside of a 16 by 16 area? So with that said, that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on building a 16 by 16 wool house. Now, my idea behind this is to gather the wool that makes the most sense. And what I mean by that is using brown wool for our oak logs, like a replacement for our oak logs, using gray and light gray wool for our stone replacements, and then using yellow wool for any color that we need, and using white wool for maybe the walls, the top floor walls. This is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. And we can even add more color into the build. We can grab our red and then our lime green and all that stuff, if we ever want to use them. And we can even grab black at the end here. So, let's see how this is going to go. Now, we don't have to use every type of wool. That's not the challenge. That's a totally different challenge. If we ever wanted to do that, we just have to build a house out of wool. Completely out of wool. We can't use any other resources. We can, however, use glass, and that's about it. So, glass, and that's it. We can't use anything else. It's just for windows, but that's about it. So, let's get started here. Like, we're building a normal Minecraft house. I just want to do sort of this pillar effect that we would do with our oak logs. I'm just going to build around here. Sort of just get a shape for the build. And this is a great way to start with, like, really any build that you want to build. It's just a nice way to just figure out what you want to do in terms of how do I want this build to look? What do I want the shape to be? And how do I, want it to look like in the end? Shape it's definitely important when you're building. It allows your builds to just look the way they do. You think about it, you think, oh, what resources can I use? That's usually not going to be the case in the end. The shape is going to matter the most. Not the resources, but more of the shape. Which is my main, tip for building. So let's connect these all up like we're going to do a normal little just Minecraft house. That's how I'm taking this. This is how I'm going about this. Is I'm just building around and just connecting all these logs up like we're just building a normal house. Or pretending like these are the logs. And let me tell you, this is gonna be something pretty cool in the end. I think this will be something pretty cool in the end, at least. Because already, that's not too bad. Just imagine these being oak logs. Like, it's not too bad, not too shabby. So let's build up here a little bit. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 over. And build these up like we're building a roof. Just like that. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. And I love these build challenges because they allow me to think of things I normally wouldn't think of. I said this in the last one, and I'll say it in every one that come, but it allows you to think of things that you normally wouldn't think of in terms of building and design and style. It really does help with certain things of that aspect. If you're feeling like you don't know what to build, these are great, and they help with expanding your building knowledge and what you're capable of in this game. Because we can get stuck building the same style over and over again. I mean, I do it all the time. I get stuck just building the medieval style. Because, that's what I'm used to building, and there's nothing wrong with it. It is just that the only thing that could be wrong with that is just I'm not really learning anything from it, really. I'm just building what I know, and there's nothing new to it. So these are great. These are fantastic for just expanding your creativity and what you can do within the game. Because I feel like a lot of YouTubers will just limit us on what we are able to build. And what I mean by that is like we set standards for building and what looks good and what looks bad. But the way I like to look at it is that you just have to think outside the box sometimes. And that's what this game is. It's just you got to think outside your limits. There's supposed to be no limits in this game, but yet we set limits for ourselves in this game to where we have standards for building. And I like to say that's false. Right now, right here, right now. You can build anything, and it's your build. It's going to be a matter of opinion in the end of who thinks it looks good and who thinks it looks bad, but the only opinion that matters is yours, because you're the one that built the build. So, you can have a preference, but don't set limits in terms of what's good and what's bad. That's my suggestion to you when building and everything like that. But that's why I love these build challenges, because there's no limits. Sure, we might be limiting ourselves in terms of resources and what we can do, but that's part of the creative aspect of it all. It allows us to think of certain things we normally wouldn't think of. And that's where the creativity comes into play. I think I want to change all of this to white wool. Because this gray wool is good for a stone look. Like the stone look we have on the bottom. Now, when I step back and look at this build, it looks like a 3D pixel art build. That's what it looks like. It looks like a 3D pixel art build. Or like a Cube World build. Something that you would find in Cube World. Just using colored blocks to build a build. Or even a Trove build. Trove, if you don't know the game Trove, I played that for a little bit. It has just little touches of colored blocks. Nothing fancy, nothing textured. And you use those to build your build. And it's a really interesting style, but if you can get it down right and you can build a build that looks really, really cool with just using colored blocks, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Is we're just using colored blocks to build a build. Nothing special. Now maybe concrete blocks would look a little bit better, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is just the challenge part. What can we actually do? And so far, I'm kind of liking this. I'm not going to lie. Now, would I build this house on a server or something to impress my friends? Maybe not. I would go with my natural building style, but this would be pretty impressive. Not going to lie. You say, hey, I could build a house out of wool. They'll be like, no, you can't. Then you say, oh yeah, I can. Trust me. Here, watch. And there you go. Here's this house. Here's the house that you can build out of wool. Now, you might want to watch out for lightning storms. That would not be a good thing. Oh my goodness, with that. That would not be good. Holy smokes. But if you build a wooden house, that wouldn't be too great either. So you gotta kind of watch out, like the wooden castle here. That would not be in safe hands if there was a lightning storm going on. That would not be good. So, yeah, just building around, just getting this good to go. And it looks like we're getting pretty good here. Building this up. And I'm adding these little details in here, just using full blocks. And they're not looking too shabby. Just adding these little details in, just to give it a little bit more. Just a little bit more to look at. Instead of that full white wall. I'm going to turn these the other direction, because these ones are going this way, and these ones up here are going that way. So they sort of spread out and divide a little bit. So this one will go that way. I'm going to have this one go the other way. And I'm just using my general knowledge of building just to surpass the challenge and complete it. And it's coming along pretty nicely, I'm not going to lie. It's actually alright. So let's put a roof on this thing. Let's put a roof on it. And I think I want the roof to be out of light gray wool. Light gray wool seems like a nice block to use. Now, do I want to do this? Is the question. Do I want to use something like that? That's not too bad. I like that. So we'll just generally go around like we would if we were using stairs. You know, these are full blocks, and I do use full blocks for my roofs sometimes when I'm trying to make wool roofs, which is one of my popular styles that I use, or one of the styles that I'm most famous for using on a lot of servers and everything with wool roofs and all. You'll see that in Skunkton Castle as well. I do a lot over there with wool roofs and the towers and everything. So yeah, you're using full blocks there, which is really nice. And sometimes full blocks aren't, you know, we always think of stairs as being our roof blocks, but you can get away with using a lot of like full blocks and everything in your builds, which can be really, really cool. Now, how you use them is definitely going to matter. So full blocks aren't generally the block that you would want to use, but if you do it right, you can come up with something pretty cool. So here I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to build this up. I'm just going to connect these all up together. I want these to go like that. I think I'll just have them like that. That's fine. This one will come around like this. I'll have this go like so. So that's not too bad there. Now this is a bit challenging, I'm not going to lie, because I'm thinking of how I would use these as stairs, so I have to really think ahead of how this is going to go. Just building this around. I think this is going to pop out like that. Yep, that looks pretty good. And this can all be filled in then. And how do I want this to go? So this one's going to come around like this. I want to have them like that. That one shouldn't be there. So that's confusing me a little bit. How's this one going to go? It's going to go down this way, right? And just like so, it's going to connect up all together like that, and then this one can go like this. Perfect. And then over on the top here, we'll just fill that all in, and there we go. There we go. Not too bad. That looks pretty, doesn't look too bad actually. I like that. Now what can we do? Let's add a little bit up here. Just a little bit. Move this guy back maybe. Yeah. Just a little, little topper there. The sun is, whew, the sun is bright. So the interior of the house, I'm thinking that I want to just want to go around, just fill this all in with brown wool, as much as we can, up to the roof. See the little lights peeking through. That's kind of strange. Let's fill this all in. Give us a little bit of a general like wall design for what we're going to be going for here. It's not too bad. And then we'll just go over like this. Like so. Whoa, what's happening here? A little bit of a mess up there on my part. It's alright. And this will turn in. This one will go like that. A little bit on the side there, and there we go. Perfect. Not too shabby. Fill this all in as well. I think we'll just go around. We'll just go around with a nice little trim of the brown wool. Now, can you imagine how many sheep you would need for this house building this in survival? It would be insane. You need so much. So let's think. Now we got to build a staircase out of just wool blocks. This is insane to me. That's what we have to do. That's the challenge. It's not going to be easy because full blocks are a lot different than slabs or stairs, obviously. So everything's got to be. I think that's it. Actually, that wasn't too bad. Let's grab our carpet. Let's grab a little bit of carpet. Yeah, this is really weird. This is a little bit strange. And now we can fill in our floor. Just a little bit. Fill this all in. Break it out. Break it out, man. Let me take this all out there. There we go. Now hearing the grass sound, it's like a very harsh sounding thing, but here we go. I think I want white floors for the bottom floor here. I think it just breaks up all the dark that we have inside. With the walls and everything, it just feels a lot better. There we go. Yep, it really brightens up the room a little bit. There we go. Now let's grab our decor and all that stuff. Let's grab our chest. Crafting table, a little bit of a furnace. We'll grab some beds. I want a bed here, I'll put a bed there. Crafting table. Let's grab some anvils, some leaves, maybe some fences. Now this we can make an exception to because we are just decorating the inside of our house like you would normally do. Something like that. Maybe some bookshelves. Where are the bookshelves here? Are they in this section? There we go. And we'll just use one type of leaf. That's fine. There we go. A little bit of bookshelves on top here. Maybe a little. Oh, falling down. Falling down. A little bit of that. A little bit of an under chest in there. Another chest over here. It's like a little shelving unit. There we go, not too bad. And then maybe a little bit of something in the ceiling. Maybe we can have like a little light of some sort. There we go. Put this in the ceiling here. That's nice. And in the bottom part here, we'll put a little light here. There we go. Just to directly, I think that's a little off, but that's fine. There we go. A little lighting for the floor there as well. And now, we can put some more in. So like right here maybe. Over here. Behind the staircase. So we'll grab our trapdoors. These we can make an exception to as well, because again, it's interior. So we kind of have to make do with what we got here. So we'll build this up. Oops. Ah, my goodness, these are so hard to place. There we go. That works. Now how do I get out? A little tricky there. It's okay. We got it. We'll build this all up, connecting these all together like this. Now this just gives it a little bit of a style to the staircase. Just a little bit. Can't have the house too boring now. Building this up. We got a little bit of furnaces over here. Well, maybe we'll put them over. No, that was fine. Where we had them was fine. Little bit of an anvil. With a little carpet on top, maybe. Yeah. And then we'll grab ourselves a crafting table for downstairs. Perfect. And yeah, that's pretty good. I'll just fill this all in with bookshelves. Adding some little leaves in everywhere. And I feel like that's pretty darn good for right now. Now what we have to do is add in ourselves a nice door and some windows. I'm going to grab some white stained glass for the windows right here. Like so. Add in our windows wherever they go. A little tricky, not gonna lie. Trying to figure out where all the windows are at. There we go, just pop them in all the main areas. That's just really just going to complete the house in general. Yeah, not too bad. And then for the outside here, just this little filler stuff. Let's fill in some leaves. And I have to say, that's not too bad. This house started from a little baby wool block to what it is now. And I have to say, it does look pretty darn good. It's not too bad. We'll build this all out. We'll make a little bit of leaves here. A little bit of flowers and foliage going all around. And there we go. And that's how you build. Not even the 16 by 16 wool house. It's more of just a little bit less than that. It just fits in here, doesn't it? It just fits. But it looks pretty darn good, I have to say. For what it is, it looks pretty good. But yeah, there it is. Not too bad. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this building challenge for today. I know I did. It looks freaking awesome next to the wooden castle that we have right over there. 16 by 16 little builds. And they are very cute. I thank you guys for joining me on this building challenge for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any other building challenges for me to do, make sure you guys leave them in the comments below. I would love to know your guys' ideas on this and everything. I also suggest you guys try out this challenge for yourself. Send me pictures on Twitter. I'll be happy to see them and see what you guys could come up with. Maybe you're using totally different blocks from what I'm using, or maybe you're doing a totally different challenge, maybe. But let me know. And as always, don't forget to be awesome, and I will see you guys next time.